Okay, we're back live. Good morning, folks. We have a few things to do today. Um, as I kind of said yesterday, really not doing like a huge amount of stuff this week. We're kind of just doing post-release stuff. We're doing a few posts on Twitter and everywhere else, making sure that people actually see our release. We're fixing up some things that I haven't had time to fix for some people who are involved with and using Pufferlib, let's say. Trying to fix up some things with the meta environment. I told Stone I'd do some robotic stuff. Just, a few little things here and there. Um, and then, sometime in the next couple weeks, we're going to really start on the new stuff with drones and more industry side sims. We're having some meetings with people in various spaces off the stream, looking for problems we can solve with RL going forward. Pop out the chat real quick, and then I'll switch us over to the screen view. Moment. And I think what we're gonna do on, yeah, I got a meeting in like an hour, no, 2 hours. So that's good. What we're gonna do in the meantime, we're gonna see if we can figure out this meta environment and what's going on with it. I would love to know why it's this slow. Can I figure out why it's this slow, actually? Maybe I can just figure out. Yeah, let's do like test meta. Down here. Move all this crap out of the way. Okay, so does this work? If so, we can run Profiler on it. Does work. Do I have profile in here? This is a torch profile, which is not want. Is there a way we can get profiling into C from Python when it's like an external thing that we don't have control over? Or am I gonna have to set up like E-level profiling? Tricky with the way that they've developed this specific environment. I think I know how to do it though. This thing, right? So pretty much what I'm trying to do here is I'm just trying to figure out why this env is so slow. So I can at least have some idea of how to set up efficient experiments on it. It might just be that it's just slow overall, but I'm hoping that they're going to be like some combination of settings that are at least bearable. We're going to eventually have to rewrite some sections, I think, of it, or re-optimize some sections. At least help the authors do that. But in the meantime, just looking for something quick. Oh, okay, so we actually do get... This is way too big, though. See what this does. Oops. Alright, 1 second. Apparently I have countertops being installed right now. I'll be right back. I'll have to monitor that, but otherwise good to do a little bit of work for a bit. I'm figure out why this backwards. Sort by. Oh, I just had to add them. Literally just that. Right. So from this, we can see the problem. Thing I checked. Probably the replay writer's probably filling up my whole disk space as well. That's what was happening. Cool. And now we have most of the time is coming from samples. Good. Now this is probably going to tell us a very different story, right? Yeah, very different story. That's 680K. And that's actually about as fast as we should expect it to go anyways, right? Yeah, let's just let that train, and actually we'll log that on Neptune, and I'll tag it. The I token. Good. Go check on the counters. I've had a a piece of plywood for the kitchen counter for the last couple of months. This building is not fully finished, so that's nice. All right, what's going on here? This thing does not appear to be training like at all, right? Yeah, so let me see what we put in the config for this. Or actually, maybe we should just try to run this thing. Okay. So this is finishing eval, and once this is done with eval, we're gonna actually now finally, and this is why it's taken me so long to actually even do anything with this env. We didn't have the replay viewer working. So at least now we'll be able to see what it is this policy is doing, and whether it makes any sense, whether the environment is a problem or what. That ought to give us a couple replays. Give it a minute to run. The hope is that today we'll actually be able to get at least some sort of reasonable policy. Got you 2 articles. Which you think we should post first? Terraform? I just did 2 technical articles. I don't think. We can try it. Let's see if we try this one. See. Title needs work, I think. Let me think. Okay, let me read it and then we'll think on title. Honestly, this image could be the you need an image for the header of it. This could be it. This is hilarious. Let's see that. So that's the main thing that we got to look at is the title and the image. Gamifying. Yeah, this basically just needs to be reworded. The thing is, you're trying to say gamify your problem so that reinforcement learning can solve it. Or like so that header image doesn't do much. Yeah, I don't think that's a particularly good header image. Presumably you have this in an X article format as well, right? Five two. I mean, honestly, this thing here is pretty close. You can literally just paste this into like a Google Draw and like add white space on either side if it doesn't fit, and it'll be fine. Let me think about how we do this. There's really nothing even about like this is like an enticing concept, but the article really isn't about it. Maybe we do the other one today, actually, because I'm looking at how basic this one is now. This one will do well, but I don't know if it matches the release week of stuff as well. This is like reinforcement learning basics or something, right? So like how to game like honestly you could make a separate article on like how to gamify a problem for RL. This is not really what this is. Like that's like a really effective thing, and there's actually quite a bit of technical depth on that. Like if you think about it, right? That's like a big chunk of what I did with Neural MMO3. There are like a ton of ways you could set that problem up, most of which don't work. Terraform or tower climb. This is cool. Let me read through this and see if this is a better fit. I think the title is too long. The content is fine for the first one. It's just I don't know if it fits like staging in the release week. Hang on, they're putting the countertop in, and I guess cutting it or something. Okay, I think we're good. We'll see. I guess they're like grinding it so it fits or something. Look back. What? What's this doc? Article. Where I'm. This is Spencer wrote an article. I'm just looking it over. We're doing like one article per day for the 3.0 release. So we just have tons of articles, and we're just releasing one per day until we run out. Probably excluding the weekend. Spencer, it would be good to mention that right here that like you often you're targeting performance marks that can be like you mentioned that the target speed can be like 10,000x what you would expect for a normal game, right? Like that we can actually like you can continue to train faster like by making it like 1,000 to 10,000x faster than a normal game at least. More than 10,000x really. So like in the original game, right? Like a human's only going to need to climb a couple blocks. Like you only need to simulate a couple blocks per second, and then it's like 60 frames or whatever. So what we do is we do like a million like movements per second, and you can actually train a neural net that fast. Um, so I guess it's worth mentioning like just how fast these things are compared to like what how fast a normal game would run. What's this line supposed to be, Spencer? I think this is there's like a missing sentence here, right? Like it's compressed so that you you have lower CPU to GPU transfer, right? Okay, let me see, Spencer. Yeah, I missed it because I was distracted. It's fun. Yeah, this is the fine, Spencer. Yeah, this is cool. Can we get a header image where the puffer is not like looking away from the screen? Other than that, I think this is good. Now I don't know if the title fits in you gotta make sure that like the full title shows up on the post. You might have to tweak that. I mean, you could just use the second part, to be honest, if it doesn't fit. Like training AI to beat an unreasonably hard puzzle game is pretty good. So yeah, do that, put it into an article nicely, and let me know so I can repost it. Want to read Terra while you're at it? I can look. So this is just Mars. Doesn't show the end. Cool. This is good. Yeah. This is a really good quote. I think that after you post this, like in a couple of days or something, you should just tweet this as a standalone. This is really good. This is a good article, Spencer. I think these two are quite nice. I don't think you post these back to back. I think you do. You can pick one and then do a different one. So either of these is good for today. Um, and then like we'll space them, right? So like ideally we probably have 2 weeks worth of articles really. So we'll space it so that there's different, there's variety. It's not just like all the M's and then all of this and all of that. I find when I post like one M today, one M tomorrow, next day, Like, it doesn't get as much traction. I would think again about the... I don't know if the thumbnail just having a random screenshot of Mars. This is an art, like, you gotta know that this is... Okay, so here's one thing to know about your, about articles, Spencer. This is something useful. So you gotta think of the preview. So it'll show you the image, the title, and then the first couple sentences of the post. That's all it will have. So that's all people see before they actually decide if they want to read the article. So they'll see like maybe this much stuff. So I think like the content of the article is fine. Do a little bit of thinking about how to do this, and then either this or tower climb, whatever. And Ollie will repost those as well, like a decent quote tweet. Okay. Oh no, I forgot I had this running. Yeah, we generated a bunch of garbage. Holy. Going to factory tour right now. We'll post after. Solid. All right. Let me see if we can actually make this thing work now. Okay, so I have to drag. Drag this thing, which is... Oh. Okay, cool. So, I mean, we can immediately see why this doesn't work, right? One agent, mine, generator, and an alter. Number of agents will be one. One agent. Eight 192 and 96. Like so. And we'll see how slow this is. DK, really? Okay, no, we have 200k now. See what this does in 50 million step. Let me go check on my counter as well. So the expected reward here, I think what the expected reward is. It should be quite high, right? What am I rewarding this thing for? Just for getting rewarded for hearts. So, I mean, it should pretty much just be able to do... It should be able to get tons of these. If I remember to track this. Didn't. That's okay. I'll just watch it. This should definitely be able to go above 1. If it can't, then there's a problem. Maxing at 1 would be very suspicious. 1 heart. It seems like there is specifically only getting 1 is a thing. It's a very small map. It should have no problem with this task. So, I suspect that we're going to load up the policy and we're going to see something weird. That's like the most likely. It is also somewhat annoying to me that we can only do this like 50 million steps. This thing is minimum of 10 times. Well, is it 10 times too slow? Nah, it's really only 2 or 3 times too slow. To think of it. You should not be getting bottlenecked by the environment. This article's done pretty well. 40k views on something this technical. It's all the politics off timeline. Oh, this is awesome. Yeah, this artificial life type work is really cool. Yeah, there's definitely something about... I always get suspicious when, like, rewards are at numbers like that. Exactly 1, and it's never gone above 1. Oh. And corrected. Went slightly above 1. Hmm. I think it should just be able to do way more than that, though. We'll see from the replay, I guess. We'll see from the replay. It also didn't take very long. 50 million steps is considered very, very quick. Just that the code is slow. So, I mean, this should have been like a 1-minute experiment or whatever. Five minutes for 50 million has not been a thing since Puffer 1.0. Yep. Hang on. All right. I would like to know why this thing gets stuck on eval for so long, but whatever. All right. Check if countertop is done. This runs. Not quite. Have something. Okay, plus bionics. What? I don't even know what that means. Dominant. What does that even mean? There. Now. Okay, this is what we wanted. This is the simplest possible environment. I don't know why their play button doesn't work, but... Oh, it just literally chills there. I see. It doesn't do anything, it literally just chills there. Bilateral. I don't think that that's better. Like... Like, that design doesn't exist really in nature, and I don't think it's very effective. I do hope we'll see, like, several-fold increased capacity for cardio and strength, though, and intelligence. I mean, let me tell you, the other thing that would just be great is if we actually could fix freaking muscular injuries quickly. Because I got a bad rotator right now. I cannot bench the bar. Before I hurt this rotator a few weeks ago, I could bench 210 for 10 quite easily. Cannot bench a bar. Ridiculous. Let's start by fixing that crap. I know what we're gonna do. Now these all have zero initial items, right? Okay. Now what we're gonna do... Oh. Point over reward for ore.red. Stay away from benching. Actually, I didn't hurt it on a bench press. I heard it on a dumbbell shoulder press. I've never had a major injury from benching. Okay, so this should basically just go straight up here. Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty, I was being careful, somebody distracted me, it was a whole thing, but I think it's only like it should be a pretty minor injury, should be like, it should at least be healed enough in a few more weeks. Won't need surgery or anything. I mean, we can see this thing is correct, right? Like this, it's like getting tons of ore, because obviously it should be able to get tons of ore, because it's really freaking easy. now we don't give it any reward for getting ore. And we give it now we give it only reward for the second stage product. Okay. Very, very small bit of reward there. But I don't know if that's going to be enough for it to latch on. We'll see. It technically should be possible with new advantage filtering stuff. Okay. Let me go see what they're doing. Interesting that this thing is like... This is definitely better than random, but it's not like, it's not just like learning it with any real speed. Let me try different hypers. I think that the hyperparams are really jank on this. We just like... What happens if I just do this? Thank you. Okay. Does this make a difference? Looks like it does. We'll see if it's stable. Oh yeah. Hypers. Just bad hypers. This is an easy task, right? Boom. Quite slow. This thing better not be dumping replays. Not dumping replays, just slow. Alright. Now we will see whether it can get any reward off of this. Probably just a combination of many like small changes, just making it very suboptimal for learning. Now it is interesting here. I don't think that they're getting any... Yeah, they can't do this randomly at all. They've kind of created a little bit of a degenerate loop here with the reward structure, right? Because like by rewarding for intermediate products, did just get the reward once there. Let me think about this a little bit. Hi, Hyper. No idea what you're doing, but admire your discipline. I mean, I can explain what I'm doing in a pretty simple way here. Like, a lot of the problems we work on are either games or they look like games, right? Even the industry ones, we essentially gamify. So we're just thinking about how we can get this AI to learn to play a game by thinking about the structure of the problem and like kind of the way in which we're rewarding the agent for doing different things in the game. What I'm kind of doing here is like it's sort of like how you learn math in school. Uh, to solve this problem, you have to go to this mine. You have to collect 3 ore, and then you have to take them over here to get a battery, and then 3 batteries make a heart. So I'm kind of figuring out how I tell the agent to like that it needs to do these 3 things in a row implicitly. I'll talk more once the vacuuming is done in here. I don't know if it's coming through on the mic, but it probably is. No noise now? Okay, I guess my filter is really good because I can barely hear myself talking. um, Let me try something. If they only have 10 items, I don't think they can get rid of items. Can you get rid of items in this? I don't think you can. So if you can't get rid of items, the filter, it better be. This is a very nice audio setup. Okay, so my idea here is if we reward them a little bit for ore, a little bit for batteries, and a little bit for hearts, what I would expect to happen naively is it's just gonna like spam ore and get this forever. Um, but if we cap the inventory to be pretty small, like it's gonna see that its inventory is full and it's gonna have to get rid of the ore and like the resources somehow. And the only place to get rid of it is gonna be in these other converters. So we'll try that. Again, this is not going to tell us anything on its own until we actually see the graph here. Okay, so it's getting ore. The maximum ore it can get from ore alone, 2.5, I believe. Okay, so once it's above 2.5, because it has 10 slots,
and it gets 0.25 reward each. So it means it has to basically be freeing up its inventory. Okay. Let's see if I'm correct. Yes, you see this? It's starting to make batteries. And hearts. This is still going straight up. I think it's super slow though. This is what we want to see. Which, when we run this, I expect it's just going to be running between all three converters. Don't pay attention to these graphs as much. I actually don't think that these are correct. I think that these are just logging wrong. Oh yeah, let's see if we're doing numbers on LinkedIn. There's this post. Like no views. There's literally nobody on this site. and it's starting to peak. It's also expected, right? Because you can't get infinite rewards when you don't have infinite time. As soon as this evals, we'll see how well this does. And, yeah, we'll at least have something to do. Have this replay writer. Eval. One. Just a minute to eval. Hopefully this is at least a decent starter policy. Be anything great. This should be a decent enough starter policy. Then we will basically just be able to take this thing, run it on the full maps, and see if anything happens. Okay. I wish that this thing would actually, these buttons would work. Well, I guess we'll have to do it this way. I get a full inventory of stuff from the mine. Then it's gonna go find the generator. Who made that? This is Meta with 2 T's. You can find their GitHub. Not Facebook. Okay, so then they do this conversion. And it works, right? Okay, so now that this works, the question is, can we scale it up? Or do we want to do the cooldowns first? Maybe we want to do the cooldowns first. Give you 3 mines. We'll look at the... let's go look at their configs. Cooldown. What did we say that they put? Many things were there. Map. Two generators, 10 mines, 6 agents. Okay, so we'll do like 2 here. Basically, we just see whether this does anything. This will make it substantially harder to learn. Not really for any good reason. Basically, the agent can't see the waiting animation. Why is it taking this long? Oh, because I left the replay viewer on like a dummy. this. If this works, then possibly the full map works. See? Are they actually doing this for their configs? Okay, so the only problem here is I don't know the scale of anything. This is way lower. And it's not getting any hearts yet, which is a problem. See if that changes. Oh no, it is. It's at 1. That's actually good. And realistically, I think that the max you can get is like 2, isn't it? Because you need 9. Hang on, you need 9 ores, which you actually have to take the time to collect. I guess if you go between 2 mines, you should be able to get 2 hearts. You know what? I wonder if this was a straight up logging change. This could have been a straight up logging change, no? Maybe not, because there were 10 mines. Dang. I'm trying to figure out, like, because we had a version of this that worked before, but, like, I basically never saw it. I just trained them a policy and sent it to them, and they were like, oh yeah, that's really good. This is expected because, again, the cooldown times are totally different. These metrics are definitely reported wrong. Definitely. Wonder how they're being reported. We'll look at that in the meantime while this finishes training. This a lib or you made that? Which visualization? Oh, this one, no. This is the meta, guys. They build everything like the exact opposite of the way that I do. So we have our visualizations on Puffer.ai. Like, for instance, this is one of the ones. This is probably the end that I built that I'm most proud of. Let's see. Hang on. Escape by mistake. I will check your template momentarily. Okay.
you cannot run this while also running training at the same time. You link it anywhere? Discord? Thank you. $970. Okay, I'm gonna have to read through this. This is gigantic. Template? What do you mean just a template? I mean, it's huge, right? This is several times longer than all of the current docs put together, right? Wait, what? Is part of this AI generated? Because there's stuff that does not make sense in here. Like, we don't have a pufferlib.models.policy, and then there's like, there are like random characters in the middle of this from like, is this Sanskrit? I think it's like some Sanskrit characters dot box. Yes, this template. Not a real. What do you mean by a template? Hey, Brad, how's it going? What do you mean by a template? Because like a template is like something that you copy and then you edit it for your own environment, right? Like we have one of those.
But this is not what a template is, right? Sample template. Okay, so I guess you just mean it's like something sort of like this. Okay. So I mean, you basically what you want is you want like a from scratch tutorial, like assuming you don't know any RL, like at all. Okay. Yeah. That can be arranged. Be arranged. You have to realize that, like, literally before Pufferlib, this wasn't a field where that was a reasonable thing to even do. Because, like, it was so much harder to even do anything that, like, I'm a beginner, I don't know RL, how do I, like, make cool new stuff? It's like, well, you just don't. Now, though, yes, you actually can do that in Pufferlib, and our docs just have not caught up to that, which is fair. That's not a Pufferlib guide anymore, though. That's like a RL basics, which, yeah, we can do something for that. It's like RL basics with Pufferlib. It's not Pufferlib basics. It's like kind of RL basics, yeah. I have a meeting that's technically at 1, but the guy told me he's probably going to be a bit late. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to message him like, hey, let me know when you're around. Ask people to Pufferlib, start from scratch. Again, like, this was the type of thing where this basically this started off as a toolkit for PhDs in reinforcement learning, right? And then we made it simpler because we made the library way faster and way simpler, right? Then we brought it down to like, okay, this is a toolkit for like AI people who are trying to get into RL, right? Like people with like research experience in other areas. Maybe you have like a master's or a PhD in another area and you're trying to do RL. And then it got to the point where we literally have brand new programmers that can actually do stuff with it now, and the docs haven't caught up to that. So that is a fair point. Like, I'm gonna have to figure out the format in which to present this. Like, you understand why I can't just like put this as the documentation page, right? Because like if I put this as the documentation page, then like experienced RL people are gonna be like, what the hell? Is this just like a tutorial library for beginners? Like, where do I find the information I actually need? But I need to kind of do both, and they need to be in separate places. A bachelor student learning Pufferlib from their first year of college. Yeah, so this is the thing. Like, you can actually do that now as a bachelor student in your first year of college. Uh, I tried to do RL as a bachelor student in my first year of college with the tools that were available back then, and it was impossible. Like, it doesn't matter if you're a genius, just couldn't do anything at all. So times have changed, and now actually we can do stuff. And admittedly, like, we've actually had undergrads contributing really awesome stuff now, so do want to have docs for that. I just have to figure out how to present it, right? Because like if you present the docs, like the main docs page is like this is like for ultra beginners, then you lose the experienced people that you also care about. So I have to figure out how to put it separately. I might do it as like a blog post more than anything, right? That might be better to just have like, you know, like quick start RL with Pufferlib for complete beginners or something. Yeah, there will have to be like 2 sections or something. Now, like putting 2 sections, I'll play with the format. Basically, I hear you and like, okay, I can do something to have like a complete beginner guide that covers the information that you put in here, but I have to decide on the format, right? That'd be great. Yeah, okay. So this is something that people want. This is something that people want. I just have to figure out the form to deliver it. In the meantime, until I've done that, I literally stream all day. So if you have questions, you ask them here. This readme on squared example. This code doesn't actually run is the thing, right? Like, it's generally not a good idea to include code examples for code that actually doesn't run, right? Like, you don't do like a code walkthrough when the code doesn't actually work. I will have to tweak some stuff on it at the very least. Yay, yay. Okay, so this is this one. Let's see if we do. After making change. Why is this agent invisible? There we go. Oh, it's very smart. Solid. Welcome, humble fool. What is this env about? It's resource conversion. You have to get 3 ores from here and then put the 3 ores in the generator. That makes a battery, and then 3 batteries go to the altar and makes a heart. I mean, this agent has learned this task pretty well perfectly. Percy Leon. What tweet have you linked me to, Percy? That's a good thing to do. I don't know how they actually do this. If it's like from scratch, but actually it's PyTorch, then that's kind of silly. But like, yes, language models from scratch, it's good. Honestly, the best resource on that, I don't know about this course. The best resource on language models from scratch is Karpathy's GPT-2 speedrun. Like his like GPT-2 original code, actually before all the crazy speedrun stuff, is really good. Read the replies. Okay, for some reason those didn't show up. Hang on. Ooh. That's a weird level of abstraction. I would either do it like you can use linear, right? You can use basic layers, but obviously don't no transformer or attention or whatever. Or I would go lower level. Assignment. Brighton. Brighton. Yeah, this is still pretty high level, honestly. This is a good thing to have. It's still pretty high level. I mean, this is a good course. Like, I would have taken this if I were a student there. That's, like, good.
How did you define rewards for Pokemon Red? There's a blog post. You see? There's a blog post. It covers everything. You can also at that guy in Discord. I'd buy a course if you offered one. I'm not in the business of selling you courses. All my educational content is free. I sell my services to companies who are trying to like solve a hard RL problem in their business. All the other stuff's free, including the code. Be right back. Let me use the restroom real quick, and then I gotta figure out where this guy is for my meeting. But he's probably gonna be late, so I probably have a little bit longer here. Brad, if you want to like learn this stuff, literally the best way is to just jump into the Puffer Discord and like start building some environments. You learn, and at the same time, you actually help advance all the research that we're doing. Let me go figure out where this guy is for meet. So the plan for folks, I have a meeting. I don't know when the guy's going to be here. He said he'd be late, like fairly late. So at some point I'll just hop out and hang on, let me message him. And then I will be live back afterwards. Really appreciate stuff you've open source. Thank you. I mean, honestly, at this point, like most of the stuff in Pufferlib, like the majority of the code, at least the env code, is written by contributors, right? And some of them come out like really well. Like in a way you wouldn't even expect. Go look at Tetris on the website. It's absolutely mesmerizing. Systems capable of analogy and reasoning. That's going to be more language stuff, I would think, then. You might be more interested in language stuff. It's harder to do language, though, because, like, frankly, you can't really do any research. You can't really do much meaningful research in language modeling space at the moment because everything's just so big and expensive. RL is one of the few places in AI where you can really just make a huge difference without it needing a ton of resources. How do you define if an agent has learned a concept? Well, I mean, right here, look. It's not just this map. Like any permutation of where these obstacles go, this agent has learned that it needs to get 3 resources from the mine, put 3 resources into there, wait for them to convert, and then it's going to have to take them out, and it puts them into the altar to get a heart. It very clearly understands that because this is randomized during training, so these obstacles can be anywhere, and it'll do the same thing. LMs don't do analogy and reasoning. They definitely do. They definitely do. They're fuzzy, and they make weird errors in ways that humans don't. So it's like, it's not a one-to-one like exactly like humans, but they definitely do follow stuff like that. I mean, you can just ask it like, you know, you can like ask it to complete an analogy and it'll do it. Abstract the concept to a new environment. It can. It's just a matter of extent and a matter of error classes, right? Like, for instance, it's never seen this specific environment during training. Like, I guarantee you it's never seen this exact placement of all the obstacles. So this is generalizing in some sense. It hasn't seen this exact environment. And you say, well, what happens if I only put 1 mine in? Or what if I make the map bigger? They're classes to generalization, right? And let me just make sure I don't miss this guy, because I don't know if he'll check his Twitter DMs. app.cal.com. No idea what that is. Analogies. I don't think that... I think you might be surprised with that. Like, the way that we do, it is going to make... It's going to make errors that people don't, but it's also definitely going to get things right that the average person won't, right? Like, if you go, like, try to come up with, like, the most novel analogy you possibly can, ask a bunch of people, and then ask the LLM and see. Yeah. I think, like, a lot of the LLMs can't reason stuff is kind of just silly. But, like, on equally silly is, oh, LLMs are just superhuman, they solve everything, they're great, we should just do everything with LLMs. Like, that doesn't work either. They're kind of useless for programming for me, for most of the stuff that I do. And they're useless for a lot of other things as well. So, like, yeah. Okay, I gotta run to this meeting. Thanks for tuning in, folks. I will be back right after this. If you want to check out all their stuff, it's all at puffer.ai. Start the repo to help me out for free. Take a look at our latest release. Puffer 3.0 is here. It's all open source. Follow me on X for more content. We're posting all sorts of cool RL articles